Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show is brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. It is pest season these days, which means you might be seeing a few spiders and ants around your home. I was seeing some spiders, so I called in the guys from Southeast Termite and Pest Control, and they took care of my home. I also need them to take care of that crepe myrtle while they're at it that's grown out of control. It's like the tree in Poltergeist. Right now, Southeast Termite and Pest Control can give your home a free termite inspection. Preventative treatments are a lot less costly than corrective treatments. Call them, Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Let them come out, inspect your house for free, give you an estimate if there is issues with termites. Now's the time to call them. Call them before you have the problem. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Back with Mark Pankratz. I want to talk very quickly, about a minute each on these, all right? Well, maybe a little bit more on that last one, but it was learned this past week that Donnie Tyndall had committed a secondary violation. He had contacted a kid, everyone's put it together, as Braxton Bonds, who was leaving Liberty University, walked on at Tennessee. Once they realized they couldn't be contacting him, they cut it off. Again, secondary violation. Now it looks like Bonds may walk off anyway, may go to another school. My question, though, any fears that there may be something else still out there on the Donnie Tyndall issue?
Well, I think just because of the track record, you got to worry that there might be something else that come out. The great thing about it, I don't think anything will come to Tennessee where you'll actually be hit with the program, despite even if those violations were done at Tennessee. With the secondary violations, the NCAA almost encourages a certain amount of secondary violations reported.
Yeah.
And that's why that book is so thick. You can't do everything the right way all the time. So I don't think there'll be any more issues for Tennessee.
I think that's an interesting point, though, and then people need to understand what you're saying there. That you do yourself a favor if you turn in numerous secondary violations. The more you turn in, the more it looks like we're running an above-board program. So that's what he's getting at there. Knoxville News Sentinel did a little digging and found credit Phil Kaplan and his gang over there. They got the paperwork on this. Tennessee will be playing Slippery Rock and Alabama Huntsville for their exhibition games in basketball this fall. Both of those teams were in the Division II NCAA tournament. Given Tennessee's roster, these teams are pretty good on the D2 level. Should fans take these games seriously?
I think you should, for anything, just to get out there and see the new style and see the new players, because there's going to be a lot of new players. Slippery Rock, their head coach is actually a former Donnie Tyndall assistant coach when he was at Moorhead. Those teams are better known for guard play, which will be good because at this point they're going to have more size than last year, but they're still not going to be an overly big team. But they are good Division II programs. And
Tennessee lost. You were over there, I guess, on the staff when Tennessee lost to Indianapolis in an exhibition game one year.
Oh, it happens. It happens. These teams, because they're very guard-oriented, can wreak havoc on you if you're not prepared.
All right, last one. This one's not a UT question, but sort of it's a UT question. Old UT guys that you worked with. Bruce Pearl and Tony Jones have split up after decades together. Tony Jones announced he's leaving Auburn. Both he and Pearl did the obligatory, he's the greatest guy I ever worked with, we love him, wish him well, blah, blah, blah. Thoughts on what happened? Because to me it seems kind of suspicious that Jones is leaving. Do you have any idea what Jones might be doing next? Do you have any idea? Am I wrong to think this is kind of an odd timing, odd situation?
Well, I think all of us, that's the initial reaction. If there something had to have happened, why would Tony leave a great position in the SEC level and go take, from what I've heard, an opportunity in the Canadian League? Granted, he grew up in Detroit, so that is where it's going to be located, is closer to his home. But rarely do you see a associate head coach who's been the sidekick of the head coach for 15, 20 years leave for a Canadian job. Like you mentioned, many don't even know that there's a Canadian league out there.
I didn't know, yeah.
So often people would believe there was it some NCAA issue, or was it just an issue that Golden, the guy that he did promoted, is a really good up-and-coming coach that wants to get out there and recruit even more. And so maybe it was just time for Tony to move on.
It's an interesting deal, though. I mean, when a guy leaves like that, my mind goes to one thing. I don't know if it's right or not, but it's a little like when Tennessee had two assistants leave here, kind of unusual under Donnie Tyndall. You're sitting there saying, okay, one's family, one's. I just always think it's interesting when two guys have worked together for a long time, split up, and one of them takes a job lower paying.
Well, and it's also when it's back to the Lady Vols things or anything. Just be transparent. Just come out and say, hey, this is why I'm doing it. This is what I'm going. I've already got this job. I think that would take us the guesswork out of it.
All right, one guy, the one thing they're not going to be teaching at the Legends Elite Camp is cheating. You need to get down there. Let's put this up here. You got this coming up June 22nd and 24th. Mark, tell people about it.
Yeah, it's going to be at Concord Christian in West Knoxville. All those former players, about 10 of them, are going to come, and we're going to spend a lot of time just diving into the fundamental skills. It's not going to be one of those where it's a lot of contests, a lot of lectures, a lot of games. It's going to really be filming each kid, iPads, using film work to help these guys and girls develop their shots and fundamentals that these former greats had utilized to really improve their games.
And we're going to see you back here in a couple of weeks. You're going to have a bunch of those guys in tow for the Sports Source, correct?
Yep, they're all going to be here, and people can go to tnprephoops.com, again, tnprephoops.com for more information on that camp, and they'll be here in a couple weeks.
Very good. See, once we move past your promo, we go to my promo. You went back to your promo and threw it all off. Mark, thanks, buddy. I always appreciate it. We'll see you in a couple. We'll see. Oh, yeah, that doesn't say much for the show. When we come back, some interesting stories from around the NCAA, plus later, a story that Vol fans in 30 years ago would have never believed. Come on back on the Sports Source.
From East Tennessee to Kentucky, no job is too small for Benedict Construction. Electrical work, heating and air installation, even carports and garages. With a reputation for excellence, rely on the custom work of Benedict Construction.